Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Deathathon of Dark Souls 2, Episode 2, The Deathaning. At the end of the last episode, we had just beaten the first boss, the last giant, and riding that high, we are continuing on to face new challenges and new foes. Unfortunately, that victory did make me a little careless, and as you can see here, I did leap off the cliff instead of taking the stairs, almost killing myself not minutes into the game. And with that over-enthusiastic start, let's see how we do on our way to the next boss. Using our newly acquired soldier key that I got from the previous boss, I decided to go around unlocking a few doors and see where they lead, which introduces us to a new type of enemy, something I believe is called the Ancient Knight. These new characters are more heavily armored than the previous medium enemies we had been fighting, but they do lack a shield. What they do have, however, is a giant two-handed mace that strikes with approximately the same strength as the last giant, which was a boss that, if you recall, could kill you in 2 or 3 hits. Now, while like the boss they are slow and lumbering and fairly easy to read, they are not met alone, usually either having several smaller units with them or even a second one of them tagging along. This can make fights with them fairly tedious and very time consuming, as a few mistakes in a row and you're going to be flat on your ass with your head squashed in like a bug. Unfortunately, the area that I first encountered them in seems to be fairly pointless. It's just a giant loop ending at a bonfire. There's no progression, there's no gates as far as I can tell that unlocks, so the area seems pointless other than a way to grind souls, but judging by the difficulty of the enemies there, it can be fairly daunting. And while the ability to teleport between bonfires was granted to you from the very beginning of the game, this whole little section seems rather pointless aside from a few items. Although it should be noted that here's where I got the starter version of my favorite type of weapon, the Great Sword. Just having it again brought back all those fun times in Dark Souls and kind of put me in a much better mood despite the rest of the area. I even got mild enjoyment testing it out on a pair of ancient knights who still proceeded to kick my ass, and nearly killed me. After going through the circle of pointless, I finally head back to the hub town of Majula to level up, taking a side path to a new area known as Heidi's Tower of Flame, where I met some new enemies that make the ancient knights I was bitching about earlier look like precious little kittens. These stone knights are bigger, meaner, have a longer reach, and don't stun anywhere near as easily. Even one of them can be a challenge to fight, and while in a one-on-one fight I can usually take them, there is a group of 3 that did manage to successfully kill me. Not from damage, but from knocking me off the narrow platforms to drown in the sea below. A really cool feature of this area are these cranks that raise up a platform further in. I'll explain that bit in a minute, but for now, it's time to die. A narrow pathway with certain death on either side, multiple foes with greater reach, damage, and durability. Yep, time to run. After recharging at the bonfire, I make my return trip to the triple threat trio of terror. Oh wait, that's not yet. It's just these guys. And down we go. First death of the day, not looking where I'm going. Try eliminating one at a time. Pure genius, that one. After bashing my head against them again, I decide a fight just isn't worth it, so I simply run past them to the next fog zone, which is, guess what? A boss. Poor guy didn't get a cool intro movie like the last giant, so I kind of feel sorry for him. But here he is, the last dragon rider, sans a dragon. Now I must admit, he's got a pretty badass halberd, with excellent reach and a sweeping attack, as well as a pretty bitchin' shield. His arena is also pretty nifty. The crank I mentioned earlier rises up a platform around his arena, giving you more space to maneuver around, as well as making the pitfalls around him less of a pitfall. Just some patience, some quick dodging, and bam, down goes the boss. Not bad, not bad. Only 1 death prior to the boss, and I even managed to one-shot him. A quick trip back to town to spend the points I earned, and now it's time to continue onward on my epic quest. Sadly, shortly after the boss was another stone knight, this time in a confined space with less room to dodge around, so he managed to kill me again. And again. And again. Finally managing to get past that asshole and his friends, I find myself in a place that caused me untold number of nightmares before. No Man's Wharf. A place filled with pirates, nightmare stranglers that kill me, more pirates that also kill me, pirate barbarians who kill me even faster, and pirate barbarian zombie dogs who eat my face off. In short, I decide screw No Man's Wharf and all the assholes who live there. Not the best place to end my run, but with a total of 2 bosses killed and 13 deaths, it ended up with a slightly worse record compared to last time. but at least I'm consistent, right?